Some people seem to succeed with ease, while others work just as hard and still feel stuck. What makes the real difference isn't luck or talent. It's the habits they repeat, day after day.
Exactly. Highly successful people follow routines that shape their results, on purpose. And today, we're revealing the 10 most powerful habits that can help you unlock your full potential.
The best part? You don't need to be rich or famous or born with an advantage. These habits are practical, and they're for anyone who's ready to grow.
So get ready. We're going to break them down one by one. And habit number 7? Most people never talk about it.
Success doesn't just happen. People who achieve great things don't wait for luck or the perfect moment. They build it with small, consistent actions.
Welcome to the Practice English podcast. I'm Danny, and this is Welly. And today we're sharing 10 habits that can transform how you grow, work, and live.
These strategies aren't reserved for CEOs or elite performers. They're habits that real people use every day to create real results.
So if you've ever felt stuck, unmotivated, or unsure what's holding you back, this episode is for you.
To make it even easier, we've created a free PDF with key takeaways and simple exercises. You can download it using the link in the description below.
All right, let's get started with habit number 1, the one successful people never skip.
Let's start with the first habit. One that separates high achievers from the rest, taking full ownership of your life.
No excuses, no blaming, no waiting for something or someone to make things better. Successful people own their choices, their outcomes, even their failures.
Here's the truth. It's easy to say, if I had more time, more support, better circumstances. But every time you give those things the power, you give away your ability to grow.
Exactly. If your progress depends on the economy, other people, or random chance, you'll always feel stuck. But when you step up and say, "This is mine to handle," that's when things start to shift.
Look at Jeff Bezos. When he left a stable job to start Amazon, he didn't blame the risks or fear the competition. He focused on what he could control, his work ethic, his vision, and his decisions. Even if it failed, he was ready to own the outcome.
Every successful person hits obstacles. But instead of saying, "I failed because of bad luck," they ask, "What did I learn? What can I improve?"
So here's your challenge. Think of one area in your life where you've been making excuses. What would change, starting today, if you took full responsibility for it?
Drop your answer in the comments. And get ready, because the next habit might be the one that finally gives your goals a direction. Once you've taken ownership of your life, the next step is knowing exactly where you're going. Successful people don't just work hard, they work with direction.
Most people drift. They stay busy but not focused. Because if you don't know your destination, how can you expect to get there?
High achievers think differently. They define the result they want, and then map out the path to get there.
Think back to the early days of Amazon. Before it was a global company, Jeff Bezos had a single powerful vision: to create the most customer-focused online store in the world. That goal shaped every decision that followed.
And this isn't just for billionaires. Don't just say, "I want to be successful." Say, "I want to earn $100,000 this year by building an online business and growing my client base by 20%. That's the kind of goal that gives you clear direction.
And it doesn't stop there. Successful people break big goals into small daily actions. They focus on their most important task, the one thing that actually moves them forward.
Let's say your goal is to become fluent in English. Real goals sound more like learn 10 new words a day, speak for 15 minutes, watch one video without subtitles. It's small wins, stacked daily, that create momentum.
And don't overlook this. Top performers visualize their success. They picture it, feel it, use it as fuel.
So take a moment right now. Write down one specific goal you want to reach this year. Ask yourself, is it clear? Is it measurable? Do I know my next step?
Once your direction is clear, it's time to protect your focus. Because even the best goals fall apart without the right use of time. Once your goals are clear, the next habit is learning how to manage your time. Because success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what actually matters.
Everyone has the same 24 hours. But while some stay overwhelmed, others move forward with focus.
Here's the difference. Successful people don't rely on to-do lists alone. They block time for their most meaningful tasks. If it's important, it goes on the calendar.
To-do list can get overwhelming fast. You write down 15 things, and at the end of the day, half of them are still waiting.
That's why high achievers don't just list tasks. They protect time for the ones that create progress.
They also follow something called the 80-20 rule. It means that most of your results usually come from a small percentage of your actions. So if your day is filled with low-impact tasks, you stay busy, but don't move forward.
Think about it. Are you spending your energy on the things that count, or just reacting to everything around you?
And let's be honest, distractions are everywhere. One of the most powerful habits? Learning how to say no.
No to extra meetings. No to unnecessary tasks. No to anything that pulls you off track.
So here's your next move. Look at your schedule for tomorrow. What's one thing you can remove or delegate to make space for what really matters?
Because when you learn to manage your time with intention, you start creating results that last.
Here's a habit that every highly successful person lives by. Learning doesn't stop when school ends. It's a lifelong skill and a daily choice.
And we're not just talking about degrees or diplomas. We're talking about curiosity, the habit of feeding your mind on purpose.
Take Warren Buffett. He spends up to 80% of his day reading. Why? Because he knows that knowledge grows, like interest in a savings account.
Same with Elon Musk. He didn't just hire a rocket scientist. He studied. He read. He taught himself what he needed to know, one page at a time.
One of the biggest mistakes people make? Thinking that learning ends after graduation. But successful people see learning as fuel, not a phase.
And the good news is, you don't need hours. 10 minutes a day is a great place to start. A few pages from a book. A short podcast episode. Or a video that inspires or teaches something new.
And when things go wrong, they don't just move on. They ask, what didn't work? What can I try differently next time?
So here's your next step. Choose one skill you'd love to improve. Maybe for your career, maybe for yourself, and take action on it today.
Because when you make learning a habit, your mind stays sharp and your progress never stops.
Here's a truth that most people ignore. You don't need more motivation. You need discipline.
Discipline is what carries you when the excitement fades. It's the habit that keeps you moving on the days when it's hard or boring or inconvenient.
We've all been there. You start strong, full of energy. Then week 3 hits, and it's easier to quit than to keep going. Here's a truth that most people ignore. You don't need more motivation. You need discipline.
Discipline is what carries you when the excitement fades. It's the habit that keeps you moving on the days when it's hard or boring or inconvenient.
We've all been there. You start strong, full of energy. Then week 3 hits, and it's easier to quit than to keep going.
Before we move on, let's slow down for a moment and look at a few powerful words that have shown up so far.
These aren't just definitions. They're tools. When you understand them and use them, you make these habits part of your real life.
Responsibility. Definition: taking ownership of your actions and outcomes without blaming others. Example: instead of blaming the economy, Jeff Bezos took responsibility for building something that worked. Discipline. Definition: doing what needs to be done, even when it's hard or inconvenient. Example: people with discipline don't wait for motivation. They build routines and stick to them. Prioritize. Definition: choosing what matters most and putting your time and energy there first. Example: high achievers prioritize their most meaningful tasks before anything else. Consistency. Definition: repeating an action regularly to build long-term momentum. Example: learning a language takes consistency. Even 15 minutes a day adds up.
The more you use these words, in your thoughts, your routines, your conversations, the more natural these habits become.
Because when you speak with clarity, your actions follow. One habit that keeps showing up in the lives of successful people is waking up early. While most people are still hitting snooze, high achievers are already building momentum.
And it's not just about getting up before sunrise. It's about starting your day with intention, before the world starts pulling you in 100 directions.
Take Tim Cook from Apple. He starts his day at 4:30 a.m., not to rush, but to prepare, focus, and lead with clarity.
He's not alone. Oprah, Richard Branson, Elon Musk. Many top performers swear by their morning routines. Because how you begin your day shapes how you live it.
And here's the truth. You don't have to be a morning person. That's not something you're born with. It's a habit. And habits can be trained.
A great morning routine usually includes 3 things: movement, mindfulness, and focus.
Movement can be light stretching. Mindfulness might be journaling or simply sipping your coffee in silence. And focus means setting your priorities before distractions take over.
So here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, spend 5 minutes planning your day. Just 5. You'll be surprised how much more grounded you feel.
And once your morning is clear, you're ready for the habit that turns ideas into action. It's time to talk about taking smart, calculated risks.
There's a habit that quietly separates dreamers from doers. And it's not about taking wild leaps. It's about taking smart risks.
Highly successful people don't play it safe all the time. But they don't act on impulse either. They pause. They think. And then they move forward with intention.
Think about the moment someone leaves a stable job to build something new. It's not just bold. It's researched, timed, and planned. That's a calculated risk.
And this doesn't just apply to business. It could mean learning a new skill, starting a side project, moving to a new place, or simply trying something that feels uncomfortable.
So how do you take smarter risks? Start by learning everything you can. Then, take a small first step. Test your idea. See how it feels before going all in.
And most important, let go of the idea that failure is the end. It's not. Mistakes are just feedback. They teach you what to try next.
So ask yourself this: what have you been putting off just because it feels risky?
And what's one small move you could make this week to stop waiting and start acting with courage? No one becomes successful alone. One of the most important habits? Being intentional about who you spend your time with.
There's a saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And it's true. The people around you shape how you think, how you act, and how far you go.
If you're surrounded by people who stay comfortable, who don't challenge themselves or take action, that mindset starts to feel normal.
But when you're around people who are curious, growing, reaching, their energy rubs off on you. It pulls you forward.
Elon Musk didn't build Tesla and SpaceX on his own. He surrounded himself with people who could push limits and solve problems most thought were impossible.
This doesn't mean you have to cut people out of your life, but it does mean being mindful about whose voices shape your thinking.
Sometimes the voices that push you forward aren't even in the same room. They're in books, in podcasts, in the conversations you choose to listen to every day.
So take a moment and reflect. Who makes you feel more focused? Who helps you believe in your goals? And who might be holding you back without meaning to?
Surround yourself with growth, with honesty, with belief. Because your environment isn't just where you live. It's what you're becoming. Success isn't just about working long hours. It's about showing up with focus, consistency, and the energy to follow through.
A lot of people think being productive means being busy all day. But if you're running on empty, you're not moving forward. You're just running in circles.
The most successful people don't just manage their time, they manage their energy. They protect their clarity, their rest, and their routines.
Look at someone like Jeff Bezos. He leads one of the biggest companies in the world, but he still makes sleep a priority. Why? Because a rested mind makes better decisions.
It's not about pushing harder every day. It's about knowing when to pause, recharge, and come back stronger.
That's why top performers don't just schedule tasks. They schedule breaks. They eat to fuel their brain. They move their body to stay sharp.
And here's something powerful. Passion creates energy. When you care about what you're doing, it fuels you, especially when things get tough.
So ask yourself honestly, are you protecting your energy or just pushing through until you crash?
If you want lasting success, treat your energy like something valuable. Rest well, move often, and work in a way that keeps you going long term.
This final habit ties everything together. Because lasting success doesn't come from pressure. It comes from alignment with something that truly matters to you.
If you spend your life chasing results in something you don't care about, you might reach your goals, but feel completely disconnected.
The most successful people aren't just working hard. They're building something that lights them up from the inside. Something they'd still care about, even if it got hard.
Steve Jobs once said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." And that wasn't just a quote. It was how he built everything.
Now, this doesn't mean you have to quit your job tomorrow. But it does mean asking honest questions.
What makes you feel alive? What could you talk about for hours and still feel energized?
Maybe you're not living it fully yet. But what's one small thing you could adjust this week to bring that feeling closer?
Because when you do work that matters to you, it gives you fuel. It keeps you steady, even when things get messy.
Now that we've gone through all 10 habits, let's take a moment to explore a few more key words from today's episode.
These are terms you'll hear often when people talk about success. And when you start using them, they help you express your progress with more confidence and clarity.
Success. Definition. Reaching a goal or achieving something meaningful to you. Example. For some people, success means earning more. For others, it's about freedom, balance, or impact. Calculated risk. Definition. A risk you take after thinking through the possible outcomes. Example. He didn't quit his job randomly. It was a calculated risk based on research and preparation. Work ethic. Definition. The level of responsibility and effort someone puts into their work. Example. People with strong work ethic stay consistent, even when no one's watching. Drive. Definition. A strong inner motivation to move forward and grow. Example. She turned her interest in wellness into a business because she felt driven to help others.
Try using these words when you journal or when you talk about your habits. The more clearly you speak your mindset, the easier it becomes to live it.
And now, let's take all of this and turn it into something real.
Now that you've heard all 10 habits, let's make sure they don't just sound good, but actually become part of your life.
Because knowledge is powerful, but only if you act on it.
So here's what you can do. Start small. Pick just one habit from today, the one that spoke to you the most, and stick with it for the next 7 days. Not perfectly, just consistently.
Maybe that means waking up 15 minutes earlier. Maybe it means writing your to-do list in the evening. Maybe it means moving your body for 5 minutes a day. Start tiny. Let it grow.
Track your progress. Somewhere you'll see it. Use a notebook, an app, or just a sticky note on your bathroom mirror. Each small check mark builds trust with yourself.
And don't do it alone. Tell a friend. Share it in a group. Listen to people who inspire you. Surround yourself with the kind of energy you want to keep.
Most of all, be patient. Building habits takes time. You'll miss a day. You'll mess up. That's not failure. That's part of it.
What matters is that you come back. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard.
You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to keep doing what matters a little bit at a time.
Because real change doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing the right things again and again.
Let's pause for a moment. You've heard the 10 habits. You've reflected. You've imagined what could change.
Now here's the question that really matters. What's one habit that feels meaningful to you right now? Not the easiest. Not the trendiest. The one that could actually shift your results if you stayed consistent.
Type it in the comments. Let it be real. Because your answer might be the motivation someone else needs to keep going.
And if this episode helped in any way, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That's how we grow together.
Now, we've talked about habits. But sometimes the hardest part isn't knowing what to do. It's the overthinking that stops you from doing it.
If your mind keeps spinning in circles and small decisions feel heavy. Our next episode is exactly what you need.
Click the link on the screen to watch. How do we stop overthinking? It's simple, practical, and it might unlock the momentum you've been waiting for.
Thanks for joining us here on the Practice English podcast.
Keep practicing. Keep growing. And we'll see you in the next episode.